Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on this Sunday night? Sunday, February 26, 2023. How is everyone doing, huh? Um, I'm doing my podcast on this Sunday, obviously, right? And guess what happens? My Windows computer, which I usually which I usually use for work, not work for use, sir. The camera on that goddamn machine is not working. So I'm doing my podcast using this MacBook, right? Which I use in my bedroom. You know, when I'm in there and I want to watch a show. You know, I've been watching the prequel to Yellowstone, right? 1923. And Picard season 3, has started in 2023, right? Star Trek Picard. All you Star Trek fans out there, huh? I'm pretty sure you all are watching that show, right? Well, why are you dancing, sir? Can you just stay still for a second and just take a deep breath and be like a Buddha for a second? Jesus. Well, I'm already worked up because I was trying to figure the hell out to see what the hell was wrong with that goddamn computer and camera. Because camera, I didn't drop the computer or anything. Nothing happened with that computer. I was working, and right when my wife was with me, and then she went to bed, and then I had my sister and her husband over for dinner. I cooked some good food, by the way. I cooked biryani again, which was really nice, actually. This time I didn't make it too spicy. Chicken, really nice. I overcooked chicken, but I think you're supposed to, with all these South Asian dishes, most of the times you have to cook meat really tender, So I think, that was not bad, And here I am. I'm just doing my podcast, and tomorrow is the beginning of the week, and I have all these clients, They need whatever they need from me, right? Drawings or whatever, right? Without turning my podcast into a rant about work or any of that, right? How is everything in the whole world since? Oh yeah, I didn't welcome myself back to my my home. My home. Also now my wife's home, and it's just hard, man. Just hard, it's just hard. Like, she and I, have been married for what now? Since September, right? So October, November, December, January, February. 5 months we've been together, only for 32 days. Can you believe that? Sucks, this goddamn world, These borders, these fucking stupid, laws, and I mean, I'm here legally, right? It's not like I'm here illegally and I'm a citizen here, right? So if I want to bring my wife here, shouldn't that be easier? Huh? Shouldn't that be easier for me to bring my wife here because I want to be with her, she wants to be with me, right? What kind of a fucking like stupid kind of a notion it is that you have to wait like a whole year, or even more sometimes. What kind of a freaking lie is that? Dude, we are married. We have all the evidence, and I don't have to actually provide any evidence because I love her, she loves me, and yeah, we are a couple. We are married. It's not like she's my girlfriend and I'm her boyfriend. So why can't I be with her? What kind of a stupid kind of a setup this is? This goddamn world. Jesus Christ. Especially, especially this is the time, when after you get married, you want to be with your significant other, right? Yeah, it has been tough. It has been tough for us, and I don't know. I don't know if you guys, any of you, actually have gone through this, where you are not together, even though you may be married. Actually, one of the other guys from where I come from, in mountains in Pakistan, he's going through the same thing. However, we just gotta wait, man. Just gotta wait. That's what it is, I'm gonna try. We're gonna try other venues as well, But I don't know. I guess this is like the patience, Yeah, well, sir, you just met her like a week ago. You were with her. I know, I was with her. And that's the whole fucking point. I was with her, she was with me, and then we are not. So these are the facts of life, that sometimes feel like unacceptable. And to be honest with you, it feels illogical. It seems illogical that I'm not with her, or she's not with me, right? I can't be there all the time because I have a business here, I have my clients here, I have the whole setup here, right? And so, for me to say, oh, you know what, I understand she can't come here in the next, I don't know, however many months because of these stupid laws we have, whatever, right? Then I can be there with her and maybe work remotely. I can't, So, am I repeating myself? I guess I am. I'm sorry, I apologize. But that's the fact of life. That's the fact of life we have to deal with. It's so annoying. It's the annoying shit ever. It's your wife, dude. So, without getting into all the immigration details and all that, but I just gotta be patient, which is really not in my fucking dictionary, compulsive as I am, sometimes. It's hard, it's hard for me to actually, say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna wait 6 months for my wife to be here. Well, what are you gonna do? Well, just wait. All right, well, let's just wait, right? Let's just wait. It is what it is. Unless the U.S. government changes the laws and says, oh, by the way, so this guy is a citizen, or this lady is a citizen here, and he has married this person from this other part of the world. Let's give them the, the welcome. Give them the priority so they can be here together in this country, and maybe they can raise a family. Aren't we having an extinction problem on this hemisphere to begin with, right? Well, maybe not the whole hemisphere, but in the Western Hemisphere, Europe, even Japan. Population problem, population decline. So that means that if we don't have enough kids being produced by us human beings, that means that we are not going to be able to survive in future without any humans. So what does that mean? That, let's say, 50,000 years from now, right? So 50,000 years from now, let's say, right, which is actually a drop in the bucket of the life of this universe. Think about it. So 50,000 years, we advance so much. We advance so much in terms of our technology and our, maybe, unless, some shit happens in terms of like, some asteroid really hits the planet, right? Or some comet, well, maybe an asteroid, right? And then it makes us extinct, everything, including us humans, right? Just like it did to dinosaurs, right? 66 million years ago. Just imagine that figure. 66 million years. Jesus fucking Christ. That's a lot of fucking time, right? Okay, so what the hell I was talking about? Alright, so I was talking about, imagine in 50,000 years in future, right? We humans have just decided not to actually have kids, right? A lot of us, many of us, we say, oh fuck, you know what? I don't want to say fuck it, but I mean, isn't that what it is right now? Look at all these like people. I mean, my friends, even whatever, close whatever friends. None of them have, including myself, have any kids. I'm almost 50. I don't have a kid. Why not? Well, sometimes my own choice. Sometimes just it is what it is. Sometimes, whatever, because I was waiting for my citizenship before I could do anything. So things like that, right? Things like that, and so just imagine that, and also I think the bigger part which we people on this hemisphere are in the Western society, we don't realize that we are very like individualistic. We are extremely individualistic, and and so we just don't want anybody interfere in our lives. We don't compromise. We don't want to I don't know, whatever in our circumstances are circumstances of our own making, to an extent that we don't actually, we don't want to compromise. We don't want to fucking compromise. And then what happens is that we just end up being like, well, I don't want to use the word like, without any kids. Yeah, without any kids. And I understand a lot of people don't want to have any kids, and the question is, well, I guess that's the primal question, right? See, that's the fucking primal question. All right. And the primal question is, a lot of us in the Western world, and let's say developed world, right, as opposed to developing world, right, where you get married and then you want to have kids, right? You just want to have kids, or you have to have kids because that's how it is, right? I'm not saying that you can't use a condom or whatever, right? Protection. But what I'm saying is that in this part of the world we have actually decided For most part, I think. For most part, I don't want to use the whole jargon that I'm using, that we in this part of the world, including I think to an extent, I mean the developed world, right? Germany, Japan. We just don't want to be bothered to be having kids, or just, we don't want to compromise our individualistic lives, and we are happy where we are, and what the hell we're doing, right? So then the question becomes, oh, how about our primal? How about our primal instinct, which is, I understand it's more of a thing, or it's more for women, females, than us guys, because because of the natural whatever it is, their affinity to producing kids, you know reproduction, as opposed to us, males. And so that actually brings the next question, right? How about us guys? Have you ever actually think about, like, fucking, like, okay, passing on our gene? I mean, I'm not saying that, I want to pass on my gene because I want to propagate my genealogy down the fucking 100 years path of, like, history, right? No, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm still a monkey in my primal nature, regardless of how intellectual I have become, or whatever I have become. I'm not saying that I have become so intellectual that, oh, I feel like, oh, that's like monkey business, or like animal business, beastie business, to have kids, and oh, that's a waste of time. You have to tend them, you have to tend for them, and you have to make breakfast for them, and this and that, right? Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, because feel like I feel like I haven't had a kid. I mean, I'm just getting into a serious relationship now. I just got into a serious relationship. So I do want to have a kid, when the circumstances are right, when my wife is here. That would be ideal for both of us. And so, uh, without actually really, you know, uh, turning my podcast into this, like, debate over, the population decline on this, hemisphere, or in the Western world, or how about we balance the population, sir? We bring some kids from there to here, and then we're good, right? Yeah, well, that's not easy. Yeah, it's easy to say, but it's just not, practically, just, it's complicated. It's more complicated than you think. Although, when I saw, like, and I got emotional, I think the other night, I got on fucking Twitter, which I shouldn't. I usually don't. But I did get on fucking Twitter because, what happens to your conscious or your subconscious is that, I think, and that's true with me, is that, that something just starts sitting in my subconscious. For example, when I was in Islamabad for 2 weeks, right? 2 or 2.5, whatever the hell, especially in Pakistan. And I was seeing all these kids, and begging for change, 7, 8 year olds, and I'm like, holy shit, um, I mean, I didn't realize that much there because they were like, begging for change. And you give one kid like this, I don't know, 50 rupees, and then, all of a sudden three others show up, right? Uh, but then they're kids. They're fucking kids, dude. They're kids. They're not like adults. They're not even like 15, you know, to understand and tend for themselves and, and do something with them. They're fucking kids, dude. And that kind of like, they just make me angry and kind of broke my heart. And I'm like, dude, what are we talking about here? Kids, you know, kids who are begging for change. Like imagine something like that happens here in New York or New Jersey or, like an 8 year or 9 year old kid. You see a lot of them, right? Start all of a sudden in subways and, you see them begging for change or whatever, right? I mean, you see homeless people begging for change and all that, right? But they're not kids. They're not like 8 or 9 year olds or 10 year olds, right? But I mean, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, that's actually true for almost like every other developing or poor country in the whole world. Look at Africa and all this and that, right? But kids are kids, man. You know, kids are fucking kids, and it just breaks my heart that it's like they have to be out there and just like feed themselves. It's like I mean this probably was like somewhere in Shakespeare's, one of those like, what do you call the his shows, like England in the whatever the hell it was, 18th century. Maybe this is what it was, Europe maybe, or even like early 20th century, something like that, right? But in any case, so it just breaks my heart that kids are kids regardless of where they are from, where they are, which world, which country. And I just went on a fucking rant with like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and and these guys, and people who have money, and I'm like, hey guys, you fucking assholes. I didn't say that exactly, but I said, listen, you have all this fucking money, and we can probably like take half of your, not half of you. I'm not saying that. Okay, maybe I'm just taking it too fucking far, but maybe not. You think about it, right? All these fucking people with all this fucking money, they're basically filling up their coffers, right? So how about at least you take that 10% of your fucking money, 44, whatever the fuck it is, $50 billion, right? And spend on that money on these kids, and at least give them some sort of shelter or something, right? But then what is the population of kids under 15 in this world? What is it? 10% of like 8 billion people, right? 10% of 8 billion people, what is that, like 800 million? Maybe 500 million are homeless kids. I'm talking about kids, dude. In any case, all right. So, am I going to turn my podcast into some sort of a failed charity sort of a organization I'm trying to build, and then it's not going to do anything for these kids, anyways, right? But hey, listen, I try to give them change as much as I could, just like my wife did, when we were together, in our car driving, whatever. But I guess like if Elon Musk were to talk to me right now, he would ask me, "Oh, hey man, yeah, I understand. Okay, so let's assume that you got the same money that I do. What were you going to do about these kids?" Well, I would do something, right? I would do something like I said. I would say, okay, I want to build something for these kids where they can, they don't have to fucking beg on the fucking street, and they can, they can go to school, so I'll pay for their school and all that, right? Am I taking this too fucking far? If I had that much money, I think I would do it, right? I would fucking do it instead of like saying I'm going to take this fucking money, with me to the next fucking world, right? Okay, well, maybe you are, again, maybe I'm just taking it too far. I'm not saying that I'm not going to buy a yacht like fucking Jeff Bezos did, or I'm not going to fly to fucking Mars just like Elon Musk is planning to do, right? Of course, I'll build a fucking like starships and whatever the fuck it is, Falcon 9, right? Or whatever heavy, right? Falcon, whatever the fuck the heavy, that spaceship that Elon Musk is building, like. But I think at the same time we also have to take care of this fucking planet. So the balance, right? The fucking balance is what I'm talking about. And the balance is, just imagine that these fucking people, well, we don't want to have any kids, which means that the Western Hemisphere is going to be devoid of kids. Let's say even 10 years from now, population is already declining, right? Nobody wants to have kids. So that means, well, how about we make a compromise and bring those kids here and give them a better life and also blah, 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 right? Well, that's a possibility, right? That's a possibility. Nobody actually, I'm pretty sure people have thought about this. I'm not saying that nobody has thought about it, but hey, what if our extinction is really not fucking a nuclear war or climate change? These fucking climate change people, they're turning this whole fucking climate change into a religion, and it's just already backfiring. A religion, especially these fanatic religions, are just based on beliefs. All right, they're just fucking based on beliefs without any logic, right? So if I'm not going to name any fucking religion, and so this is exactly what these climate change people are trying to make climate change as a religion. So what they're saying is that, listen, if you don't follow what we are saying, which is, we're going to be extinct, you're going to be extinct in the next 10, 15 years because of ozone layer. Whoa. No, we're not going to be extinct. What's your fucking data saying? Oh, well, the what do you call, the rivers? The rivers are going to flood. The seas level is going to rise. Yeah, I understand that part, but that's not going to make us extinct. All right. So if you're telling me that you are going to come up with a new Bible, right, or whatever it is, right, which is going to be based on, we're going to be extinct, so I better write this book, and which these humans are going to follow, otherwise they're going to be extinct. Well, no, sir or ma'am, you're wrong. Okay, you're wrong. What you're doing is actually against the logic. See, logic is what us humans have pushed forward. Right? Logic is one of the things. Actually, one primal thing is, you look at the problem, right? For example, climate change is a fucking engineering problem, and to an extent, I understand what the solution should be, right? I understand that, yes, global warming is a problem, right? Maybe it is a problem, right? And so what the fuck should we do? All right, well, we should try to cut down on the fossil fuels and blah blah blah. But the question then becomes, all right, but how about, sir, ma'am, you are telling me that we should cut down on fossil fuels and all that, but how about I need heat in my apartment, as much as these poor people, whatever, they need fuel to actually, make a meal, right? Fossil fuel to make a meal. What the fuck are you going to tell them? Oh, no, you can't use a fucking gas stove, but use an electric stove. Where the fuck are you going to get electricity from? Huh? All these electric cars, where are they going to charge from? Huh? Do we have these electric charging stations, by the way? Just like we have gas? No. What I'm really against about these climate change fanatics is their impractical approach. Fucking practical approach to the engineering problem. Because none of them is an engineer. I'm not trying to make my more work for myself as an engineer. Listen, I have plenty of fucking work. What I'm saying is that, yeah, I want solar panels on top of my house, right? I don't have a house, I could only afford to buy this apartment, right? But if I have a house, yes, of course, I would want to have solar panels on top of my roof. But then if you dig down to where the fuck the solar panels come from, where's that fucking metal made, right? Whatever the hell it is, the material that comes from, where the hell it comes from, right? Just like the car batteries. You know where the car batteries come from? Congo. Fucking Congo. That metal, cobalt, where the hell it is, right? And these kids actually extract that. And it's like fucking deplorable. Deplorable. And you, all you climate change fanatics, have you ever looked into that to see where are we going to get this fucking electricity to charge the cars, and where are we going to get the fucking batteries? You know what happens to fucking batteries after they die? You can't actually refurbish them. No, not the fucking, that word I want to use, sir. Not the refurbish. You can't actually reuse them. Because they have a half-life, right? That's how it works. These fucking batteries have a half-life. I mean, the elements have a half-life, and when the half-life is gone, then they're dead. Unless these engineers, these scientists come up with some other technology to basically, come up with fusion, whatever the fuck it is, and then something happens with these metals, and then then you can reuse them for batteries. Even these small fucking lithium batteries, right? The lithium batteries. You can't reuse lithiums to make another battery after you use a battery. Can you believe that or not? Well, that's actually the problem. And the problem is practical, which the climate change zealots are turning into an emotional one. See that? See? The difference is, and especially something like climate change. I mean, if you are going to turn this into some sort of an emotional, we're going to be extinct in 50 years. And listen, if you tell me, and if you turn this into some sort of a fucking emotional, like a hijacking scheme that you're going to put forward to me and say, in 50 years it's going to be extinct, what are you going to do? I'll be like, fuck you. Nothing. I'm not going to do anything. Because in 50 years I won't be here. I don't give a fuck. Alright? Simple as that. If you ask me, right? Especially if you're going to put this forward as some sort of an emotional thing again, right? Without repeating myself. As opposed to, sir, we have a problem. We are putting so many, CFC gases into the atmosphere that we're killing the fucking ozone layer and blah, blah, blah. And so what should we do? And then I can talk to you, right? In a practical term, if you are willing to talk to me, or if you're willing to fucking listen what I have to say, right? To that. Now I would say, all right, so what's your solution? then you're going to say, oh, we will have to turn every fucking car into an all electric, right? Or we can't use the fossil fuels. We can't fucking dig the ground to heat up our homes when it comes to it. But have you any idea? Have you any idea that we need some sort of a fucking fuel to produce electricity? All right. Okay. What are the other sources? Natural sources of electricity. All right. So we have wind and hydro. Wind, forget it. Wind is not easy. And then solar. Solar is, yes, it's all good, but it's not available everywhere. Sorry. All right. So then what's the fucking solution? I'm not saying that, listen, if you ask me, I would fucking get rid of all the fucking fossil fuels right now. But you have to guarantee in writing to me that you're going to provide to me, for every fucking human being, that you're going to provide a means for cooking, a means for lighting, a means for heating to their home. Every fucking household on this fucking planet. Alright? So, if you can guarantee that to me, then I can say, yeah, go ahead. Let's fucking, kill all the rigs and whatever else, right? We can't do that because you climate people are such zealots, so zealous about this whole thing that you're going to turn this into a fucking religion, and that's going to actually backfire on you. All right? So that's my rant on goddamn climate change. What else is going on, huh? I think I should have actually talked more on now I feel like maybe I should have talked more on like something like what do you call what the fuck is going on, by the way, in terms of like, are we going to go to fucking, leave this fucking planet eventually, have a base on the fucking moon, dude? That's what I'm interested in. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about like not that I want to say that I don't give a fuck about this planet, but to have a balance, I think we have to have a plan to also have a second home, second to this planet Earth. Extremely importante. And what the hell are we doing to achieve that? Nothing. These hippies are basically, they're playing their own trumpet, they're playing their own fucking trumpet all the time, saying that, oh, this is the biggest problem on this planet. And well, it's not actually, to be honest with you. Look what happened in fucking COVID. It shut down everything. Fucking shut down everything. Yeah, you conspiracy theorists, you would say, oh, it was like George Soros or whatever the fuck it is, right? Yeah, whatever the fuck it is, right? I don't give a fuck. But it becomes a problem on a global scale. What the fuck do you do? Well, at some point in time, you're going to tell yourself, you're going to tell all the people, fuck this planet. If it's going to kill us for whatever the fuck reason, then we have to leave it, right? I'm not saying that our planet Earth is going to kill us, but it has a capability to actually make us extinct, whether out of our own making, or whatever the fuck it is, some shit like COVID happens again, and holy shit, and then we got to shut down the fucking planet, like planetary shutdowns. Can you believe that? In any case, I don't want to talk about fucking COVID, because then YouTube will say, he's denying the fucking, Jesus fucking Christ. In any case, so let's stick to the topic, sir. Let's stick to the fucking topic, and the topic is, we humans have to be ready for future. Right? I think I covered three things tonight, which is population decline on this hemisphere, right? And that, again, I'm going to emphasize again. Emphasize, sir. Well, emphasize in a sense that I'm putting forward a real question. A real question, which is, I understand we all are maybe happy or maybe not, but somehow we are living and we don't have to deal with like gunshots and like, you know, extremism and, you know, whatever the hell it is on daily basis. Or, you know, I'm not saying, I don't think any country actually deal with that, except for some countries, right? What I'm saying is that what actually is going to make us like so lethargic and so like, you know, kind of like what do you call apathetic? Am I using these fucking big words? But sort of, maybe it does, right? Because if somehow again, I have to have this 50,000 years like milestone, right? 50,000 years milestone. Let's say that every country on this planet turned into something like Scandinavia, right? Very like prosperous and very like social, you know, they have all the social, you know, values and whatnot, right? Freedom for everyone. And then the social network and, you know, like free college, even up to like, you know, university level, free education, right? Free everything. But then nobody wants to have kids. Or let's say 80% of the people don't want to have any kids because they just, it's just too much, or maybe just it intrudes into their freedom, right? So what the fuck is going to happen if that happens everywhere on this fucking planet, right? Nobody wants to have kids. So that means that we're going to be fucking extinct in 50,000 years. Human beings, well, that's great news, right? There you go. That's the chance for extinction, right? Well, why do you fucking care, sir? 50,000 years? I thought we were talking about 50 years. Now you're talking about 50,000 years. Why the fuck do you care, right? Yeah, well, I'm saying this is just my opinion. Not that I give a fuck, okay? But hey, I want to have a kid when the time is right, when me and my wife are together, without repeating myself. However, I understand it's not easy to have a kid with somebody that you haven't found yet. Well, yeah, okay, well, that's a whole fucking dating question, right? I'm not going to get into that. All right? I don't have time for that. And that's like, yeah, I don't want to get into that. All right. So the second thing I discussed tonight was that if we humans are going to talk about something like climate change, it has to be on a practical fucking basis, not emotional. It has to be logical, not just words and just like, oh, we gotta do this or otherwise we're gonna be fucking down under, right? No. So that's the second thing I said. What was the fucking third thing I said, right? In between there. Yeah, in between there, I think I said that climate change. Did I lose my chain of fucking thought? I have no fucking idea. But I think this the third thing I said in there is Oh, right. So third thing was the fucking, planetary, interplanetary travel and having a second home for us humanoids, intelligent humanoids, to say that that's our second home, which has to be a planet other than Earth. All right. Yeah, you can say, well, our first stop would be Moon. Yeah, we should have a fucking base on Moon, right? Because Moon is closer. At least if some fucking, planetary fucking COVID like fucking, disease breaks out on this planet, at least we can just move some humans to fucking Moon, right? And then at least we won't all be killed, right? Because of that whatever virus or whatever bacteria, whatever the hell it is, right? I'm not talking about, like we are going to be recreated by our alien creators because we failed their agenda. No, that's not okay. That's a very simplistic way of looking at things, taking on life. I mean, if you think that, I think that we are the alien tech. Our bodies are alien tech. Look at this. I don't have any motors in my fucking arm, right? You don't either. I don't have any motors in any parts of my body, but I can move freely, easily, right? Whenever I want. Unless I have a problem with my nerves or any of these, right? Then you realize, holy shit. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, our body is alien tech, but I'm not saying that the aliens are saying, oh, these human beings haven't produced or given us, or they haven't gone where they're supposed to go by now, since they are still producing weapons of mass destruction, where the fuck it is, right? Or they're still fighting with each other. We have wars and people with egos. Oh, by the way, so this is what I have to say without fucking getting into politics, but I have to say this. Okay, we have our president, right? And then vice president. They go to Russia, or whatever the hell it is, Ukraine. They make these speeches, and instead of making a peace deal, right? Instead of making a peace deal to end this goddamn war, they instigate. Why? What the fuck, dude? Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I'm saying, that we always need to have a second base. Moon or fucking, Mars. Alright? It's already 48 minutes, 18 seconds, everyone. And, and I got a lot of work, and I'm going to sign off soon. It's Sunday. The weather actually turned nicer later part of the day. I woke up really early. I was out with my friends actually Friday night, and it was just a little too much, but it was fun. It was fun. So that's the good part, And then I just slept the whole fucking day Saturday, almost like 3-4 hours at least. I was talking to my wife, and then today, I got up early. For some fucking reason, I'm getting early now. It just sucks. Like, it sucks to not have enough sleep, and then and then you wake up, right? And then you wake up, and then you're like, oh fuck, it's 7 o'clock, Especially on a Sunday, right? or on a Saturday, right? But tomorrow, tomorrow is a work day, but I got to get enough. I mean, every one of us, I think, like whatever I talk about tonight, yeah, it's all good. I talk about climate change and this and that, but on practical level, I think we all need to get some enough sleep. If you don't get enough sleep in our lives, then what's the fucking point, right? Your body needs rest. Your body needs like rest to regenerate, rejuvenate. What did I say? Rejuvenate. Rejuvenate and all that. And so that's important that every one of us, although I understand, half of like fucking New York City is like insomniac, half, I mean, and also its surrounding areas, right? Suburbs. But it is what it is, and we got to get the most of it. We got to get the fucking most of it, and yeah, sleep is extremely important. The problem is that for many of us, right, many of us, including myself including means I am a very light sleeper, and I have a high metabolism, right? I have a very fucking high metabolism. That's why I don't get any fucking weight, as you can see, right? No matter how much I fucking eat, it doesn't matter, right? So, um, eating and all that, I don't want to get into that because, yeah, I mean, it's good to actually have I think, balance of like everything in your life. Like balance of, if you were to like live in a fucking heaven, right? I think, I think this is what I think about heaven, right? I think heaven is a place where you don't have to be worried about living a balanced life, right? I think in heaven you are given a balance, you are given a balanced life where your body or your whatever, your astro body, whatever it is, right? It just follows some sort of a balanced routine in life, right? And where you want to have a balance about food, sleep, relationships, balanced life, balanced sort of a life, like without any extremes on any side. You don't want to have any extremes unless it's like a life and death situation or something like that. You don't want to, no, fuck that, dude. Just have a balance. Just see, balance in life is extremely important. Am I gonna sound like a fucking like one of those like Eastern philosophy turned like white guy, you know, who gone, who actually, whatever. You get my point, right? My point is that you gotta be happy. You gotta be happy. Happiness doesn't come from yoga, by the way. People say, oh, maybe you should do yoga, maybe you should do, whatever, exercise, and that make you happy. No, no, no. Happiness, if you think about happiness, right? If you think about happiness, because I think I have this dilemma, and I'm pretty sure many of you relate to this. Like, for example, I get happy. I become happy with external impetus, right? External impetus, which, for example, would be, oh, I went out with my friends, or oh, my friends like me, or this and that, or I get this like sort of like like, or even, I'm getting all these projects, or I'm being successful, I'm getting, I have to send these proposals, this and that, right? But then I realize, and this is what actually I think every one of us should look at our own selves at a much deeper level than these external impetus items, right? Things. And that would be, again, okay, so is that what you are? Is that how you define like happiness? Yeah, that's part of it. You met your friends, you met your relatives. Your sister was here. Your wife is not here. You're angry, and you wish that she was here, and you and I, she and you and she, right? She and you would be together, right? Wouldn't it be nice, right? But hey, that's a whole different story, right? Well, okay, I think I actually, yeah, it makes me emotional now more than ever that she's not with me, and it sucks. But on a deeper level, I think we human beings have to evolve. I think I said this in my last maybe few podcasts, that we human beings have to evolve, you know, evolve. And I think that's the whole point of us having this intelligent, like more intelligent. I mean, I don't know how more intelligent we are compared to all these other, animals we have come from, right? But I guess we are. If you look at, like, for example, our technology and this, like monkeys couldn't do this, right? Our lions, our fucking dogs or cats, right? But doesn't mean that we are, I'm not saying that we're better than them, but we are more intelligent. And I think this whole notion of us having this body and then realizing our own consciousness, I think, has to give rise to something bigger than like fucking our body, right? Oh my God, what the fuck did I say? Fucking our body. Not fucking our body, sir. I'm talking about, like, I think we are more than our body, and that's what we are going to have to realize. And maybe some people do through whatever means, and I don't. I get this glimpse that, oh, maybe my body, from my birth through the experience is better, worse, or good, or nice, and all these experiences. But then at the end of the day, who the fuck I am in this body, right? Am I something else? And I think there's the whole conversation about the butterfly and the moth, right? The moth and the butterfly. Am I actually mixing two things here? Moth and the light, and the butterfly and the caterpillar, right? Caterpillar becomes the butterfly, and the moth actually flies into the fire, and then what the fuck am I saying? But in any case, so fireflies are, well, oh Jesus fucking Christ, I'm losing my own fucking thought here. So the point I'm trying to make is that I think we are going to evolve into, like, we have to evolve into something other than, something more than our body. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And we don't realize our capacity in all this, and then we realize that, oh shit, we are just these bodies. We have to get up in the morning, and then we have to, like, fucking do breakfast and this, and you know all the daily fucking chores of life, and whatnot. But how do you groom your inner self? I think you groom your inner self by just talking to it, talking to it, and see if it opens up. And I think that also is linked to your subconscious and blah blah blah. Although subconscious, I think is more like your thoughts, which have been deposited over the fucking years and years and years, right? But in any case, am I turning this into like a philosophical discussion that I am not going to understand myself? I hope not. All right, everyone. So it's already 1 hour of my podcast. I hope you all are having a great weekend, whatever the hell you're doing. And I'll see you all next weekend or Monday.